My name is Dan Taylor, and my Canadian story starts in Montreal. While it may not be apparent, actually as a minority. So I grew up as an Anglophone in a French society, speaking English only, and living in an English community in the 70s, which was the 60s and the 70s, which was the turmoil time of Quebec during the Quiet Revolution and the separation movement. So it's quite interesting to be not a minority in my country, yet a minority, if you will, in my province, in my community. I spent the last 10 years in Prince Edward County in economic development, and one of the things that I certainly referred to quite frequently was how white Prince Edward County is. And in fact, the language I use is there's really only a handful of brown people, and all we really mean by that is it's a very white Anglo-Saxon community. I grew up in Montreal, as I said before. I spent 15 years in Toronto, so I'm certainly used to diversity. And while I'm not sure others see it this way, I see Peterborough as quite diverse, and it's great to see different cultures and skin tones and hear different languages, etc. And I think statistically those numbers are not significant, but compared to where I came from, it's quite colorful and much more dynamic, and I can feel it in the street and see it in the restaurants and even in business, feel that kind of culture. So I think that's exciting, and I think there's a lot of room for improvement in areas of growth in that area, but I think Peterborough's on its way. So I think like any community that undergoes change and comes from one way of thinking to another, so Peterborough being primarily Irish, where the diversity was Catholic or Protestant, and now being part of the new Canada that welcomes immigrants, etc. I think our biggest challenge as a small community, and really for the longest time being concerned about where in Ireland you came from, is now where in the world did you come from, and how do we embrace new and different and diverse cultures that really we haven't been used to for a couple of 100 years. And I work in economic development, and the economy is driven in many ways by newcomers and immigrants who, for a variety of reasons, often will work harder and achieve more. And from an economic development sense, that's really important. So I think what we need to do is, from a humanitarian perspective, welcome people. And from an economic development, it just makes good business sense on top of that. So I think we should be welcoming from our heart and our spirit, and as well, I think we should open our wallets up and tell immigrants to come here, do business, make things happen, maybe even make global connections and export the goods and services that they make in Peterborough back across the globe to where they came from, including maybe just down the highway to Toronto and Ottawa and places like that.